YouTube, what the crap's going on? Sorry, I still had the screen up from that 2v2. But that's not what we're here to talk about. I have another online battle for you. What the heck's going on? There we go. And this one's going to be Tylis versus Pontus. Again, not your everyday matchup. I wanted to give Tylis another shot after I got trounced by Rome with them not too long ago. So Tylis is kind of an interesting faction. This time I've decided to bring a pretty good base of Thracian warriors here. Now, a lot of you guys think these guys are OP because you look at their attack stats and their charge and you think they're OP. They are very strong in attack and charge for the price, but they're also weak in the sense that their armor and melee defense is extremely poor. So if you get them kind of blocked up with some cheaper units and then countercharge with heavy infantry, these guys are going to get thrashed pretty soundly. Now, where the Thracian warriors can be handy is that they're good against infantry and they're good against cavalry. Now, does that mean that they're good at just standing there and taking a cav charge? No. It means that they're good at being thrown into a cav fight after it's started for support, because there is a non-visible bonus versus large of 15 with these guys, so that makes them pretty formidable. So let's take a look at my army. I've got 3 spear units up front. 2 of them are spear warriors, which are a pretty tough spear unit actually, and then one of them is levy freeman, which is not so tough. And then, like I said, my main core, I think, is 7 Thracian warriors, if I remember right. And then I have 4 noble horse and 2 Celtic light, or 2 light horse, not Celtic light horse, which they're basically Celtic light horse. My opponent did have a couple of horse archers and some other cav units that ran behind this ridge line. You can see that they're kind of coming in and out of line of sight. I don't know how I have any line of sight on them, but I know they're there, and so I left these 2 horsemen hidden, so that if he came over this direction, I'd have something to pounce on him with. And all I can see from him right now is a few Pontic swordsmen. Again, hoplites. I'm seeing a lot of these guys recently, and I'm not saying there's no place for them, but I don't think that against Tylis there was a lot of place for these hoplites. They're too expensive. They're just going to be hard to pay off. So yeah, we'll see how things go here. So I'm getting my army ready for a full-on charge, because that's what I need to do with them. My opponent has Eastern Slingers here, and I don't want to let him fire at my men forever. I don't mind him firing at my spearmen, because they're fairly well shielded and armored. So I'm going to move my spears to the flank now that I'm not worried about getting charged head-on by cav, because that would be devastating to this type of strategy. And I'm now just going to go ahead and take his infantry head-on. I don't expect my Thracian warriors to one-on-one win against any of his infantry here. Maybe not even the hoplites, just because these guys have higher defense and armor. My guys are really meant to maim his troops on the charge. Let's see how that works. Pontic swordsman. Yeah, look at that. Instantly maimed over 20 men. 30 men. Yeah, let's see. 40 men. So, and that was with a really good charge. But see how that kill number starts slowing down? Well, it did. My guys are dropping now. Look at my guy here. See, not the best charge. The Pontic swordsman actually starting to tank that around. And same thing here. And Pontic swordsmen aren't the best formation attack. Now see, my guys have fairly low morale too. So this is what I'm saying. A lot of you think these guys are OP. Again, I disagree. They are powerful for their price, but they're not OP in the sense that, see, my guy's routed here already. Lost one of them right up the center. And even against these hoplites, look, I'm about to lose this Thracian warrior to the hoplites. So, yeah, lost him to the hoplites over here. So they have their uses. I've got his cavalry destroyed over here, and over here I engaged his noble blood cav that were supporting the horse archers with my light cav, and then pinned them with my general. My men are in the woods, so won't take too much damage from his mercenary horse archers. So at this point, my initial frontal attack failed, but my cavalry attack on the flanks succeeded. And I have some leftover flanking units that I can bring in to help finish the fight. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have some Thracian warriors here that were assisting elsewhere that I'll bring in. This Thracian warrior actually did break through and destroy a hoplite unit, but now itself is going to be killed by his skirmishers. So I'm going to charge this hoplite unit and get a nice charge on it. We'll be able to bring it down. And then these guys came back from routing as well. And then I have these guys who were supporting in that cav fight who are free now. So my initial assault on the Pontic troops failed, but now I can surround the Pontic troops from every angle that you all can see here. And when I come down in, you'll be able to see that on a little bit closer scale here. So yeah, you can see the Pontic troops being surrounded entirely, and I'll be able to finish off the fight. So a little bit shaky looking at first when you saw my men routing like that, but the cavalry was doing its job, and my men damaged the Pontic troops badly on the charge, even though they lost, which means that my few remaining flanking troops, spears, and combine those with my cavalry, which can provide some charge support, and I have the tools to finish the job here. Rear charge these hoplites with my cav, and then got my spearmen into their flank. His peltist can't get away from my cavalry at this point, and then my regrouped Thracian warriors getting into these eastern slingers as well. And then here's another Thracian warrior unit that's coming in from having been on the flank, so his men start to crumble. Noble horse here into his Pontic sword general, and yeah, that fight's not going to go in his favor either, especially with the morale starting to waver. And his horse archers become the only units left, and I'm going to just start chasing them with my my light horse. So yeah, interesting Pontic build from my opponent. He did have good cav, and he had horse archers, which could be useful too. I think what happened is that his infantry center, although it was able to blunt my initial attack, didn't really have a good way of dealing with my flanking forces, and so when that second wave of attack came, his cavalry hadn't been able to hold up, and in the end I ended up winning. So really what he needed here was he needed troops to help support the cav fight. Noble blood cav are good, but they're not a match for noble horse, and that's where they failed. If he would have had some spearmen to assist in the fight against my noble horse, it would have helped. The biggest problem he was going to have is that I had Rumphia units, which is the larger kind of Falx type weapon, and they're good against infantry and cav, which is a particular bonus that's kind of hard to deal with. So he could throw spearmen into the flank to assist with that fight, but it would have been tricky for him still. So he had 6 noble blood cav. The problem is that they weren't able to be used effectively. He had 2 of them out supporting his horse archers, which kept them away from the infantry fight. So let's rethink this. If my opponent had engaged me the way he did, and let's say that he engaged me on the flanks with 2 noble blood cav on either flank near the infantry fight like he did, but let's say those other 2 weren't following the horse archers, and that they were in fact right behind his infantry units. Imagine how much different this battle would be if he would have charged in a wide formation those noble blood cav into my Thracian warriors. Even if they were braced, it would have been a very damaging charge, and then he could have charged his infantry forward behind that, and he probably would have mopped up my center, because my guys can't really hold out against a heavy cav charge like that. They can support in a cav fight, but they really can't handle a heavy cav charge. So I think that my opponent could have won this with some slight variations the way he played it, but I think to make his build stronger, he should have gotten rid of the hoplites and just brought more Pontic swordsmen. And I think it would have served him better. The Pontic peltists probably weren't necessary either. He maybe could have rethought that a little bit. But good game to my opponent. It was a fun one. Again, Pontus versus Tylis, probably not a matchup you're going to see every day, which is why I thought this one was particularly entertaining. Really appreciate my opponent giving me a fun game. It was great. HeirofCarthage, signing off for now.